It's about 8:30, it's Wednesday morning, and my neighbour's just receiving the fuel boat. He's just pulled up alongside, and we'll have a look at him. Neighbours had the fuel boat. We're just getting ready to set off now. Just a little bit of historical background. This section of the canal, although it's called the Coventry Canal, was actually constructed by the Birmingham and Fazeley Canal Company, because the Coventry started at Coventry and came north to link in with Fazeley Junction, but they had financial trouble, and they only completed the first, I think it was 10 miles up to Bedworth before they ran out of money, and they actually sacked James Brindley, the engineer. So that section that was open became profitable because it served the collieries at Bedworth, and at the same time the Oxford Canal was completed, and that allowed them to then go south on the Oxford Canal and to London ultimately. The main aim of the Coventry Canal Company was to link with the Trent and Mersey so they could get the trade going across, because the Trent and Mersey was like the M62 of the 18th century. It was east to west route. So they were quite keen to link up at Fazeley, but the money ran out before they could. So this was actually constructed by the Birmingham and Fazeley Company, and we're going to Fazeley Junction this morning, which is where the Birmingham and Fazeley comes in. So they got as far as the junction and couldn't go any further, so they continued to construct what was going to be the Coventry Canal up to Fazeley. And later, once the Coventry Canal had recovered its financial problems, it purchased this section, so it did become the Coventry Canal, but it was actually constructed by another company. I think I've got all that right. The actual, there's just down here, there's a marker stone which indicates that northward from that stone was constructed by the Birmingham and Fazeley. So I think perhaps the bridges are slightly different on this stretch because obviously a different company built them, but I'm not absolutely certain about that. We'll probably find that out once we get through Whittington, which is just over there. So we're going to get going and see what we go. We're not going too far today, Fazeley Junction, but we've just looked on the book, and according to the symbols on the map, you can't actually turn at Fazeley Junction, and we're hoping to do a 3-point turn in the junction, but there's no symbol that says you can do that, whereas on Fazeley there is. So whether the junction's tight and you can't turn a boat round at it, I don't know, but I think if that's the case, we'll probably go down the Birmingham and Fazeley and probably half a mile further on there is a winding point, so we can turn there, so at least we can then tick Birmingham and Fazeley Canal off as well. So it all gets a bit complicated, but it should be a fairly easy day today. We're just having a lunch break and we're at Hotwas village, just a couple of 3 miles above Fazeley. Anybody that watches television in the West Midlands will get their picture from Sutton Coldfield Mast, which is just there. It's very tall. And a little bit further beyond the village is that way. Just beyond the village, those trees, is Hotwas Hayes-Wood, I think it's called, and it's a military firing range. So there's warning notices. And this morning when we came down, just to the north of that wood, there's some open farmland, and that's also a rifle range, and the red flag was flying and there's quite a lot of gunfire, which was a bit disconcerting, but I think we were far enough away from it as not to be in danger. But it's quite pleasant here, it's peaceful, and there's some nice gardens backing onto the canal. Yes, it's very nice. Yeah, the little butty. A red lion.
That's the one we saw yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the same otter.
With stuff for sale.
So just moored up, it's just after 5 o'clock and we're back to where we were last night, but we're facing the other way, we're going that way now. It's gone decidedly chilly and we've lit a fire, but as soon as you get off the boat it doesn't seem so cold. It's because you're on the water, I think, that makes it cold. But just been talking to a guy up a boat with a dog, and he tells me he's just going up to the bridge, which is about 100 yards up there, and he's turning around and coming back, so he'll probably interrupt me again. But just to elaborate on the turning round story, I was thinking we could probably wind in the junction, do a 3-point turn and do it that way, but it doesn't show it that it's a winding facility on the guidebook. So I decided we'd have a little run up the Birmingham and Fazeley towards Birmingham, because there's another winding hole probably half a mile further on. Anyway, when we got there, it wasn't really a very good winding hole at all. The guy, there's a boatyard next to it, and the guy in the boatyard said, be careful in there because it's very shallow. So we couldn't get the nose in, so I had to go in backwards, which is always potentially a problem if you get grounded on your propeller end. So anyway, just looking for the dog coming back. Anyway, we did make it eventually, but it was awkward because there was moored boats for the boatyard. It was on a fairly sharp bend, at the end of which was a bridge with the blind visibility, so we couldn't see if there was anything coming. So all in all, it was a mistake really. We should have winded at the junction, but hey ho, we managed to get around, and we came out of the junction without any problem, and here we are back where we started this morning. So we're next to the railway line again, so we'll be hearing trains all through the night, which is quite a comforting sound really. You know, you realise you are in civilization, even though we're out in the middle of nowhere really. But anyway, that's the story of today. Oh, and the other story of today is we haven't done any locks. No locks. But tomorrow that should change, because we'll be back at Fradley, going through the locks down there towards Olrewas.